Hi, Dave Jones here again. We're looking at a total beginner lesson on changing between chords. It's entitled First Chords up on the website. If you don't understand how to play the chords yet, you can check out a video that I did on reading chord diagrams, and again there's a PDF up on the website of that. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at some basic major and minor chords that are used in many songs, and some strumming and changing between them. So, like I say, it's not a lesson for people that can already play and change between chords. It's a total beginner first chord lesson. Once you've learned a few simple melodies with tab and stuff, you can start to move on to chords. Now, the chords we're going to use in this lesson is a G major chord or a G chord, an E minor chord, and then we're going to use a C chord or a C major chord and an A minor chord. If you don't know these chords, you can check them out. There's a PDF that you can print off with basic, major, or you just look at it on your computer if you like. Just basic, major and minor chords, and it shows you how to play all the chords that we're going to use in this lesson today. And the strumming patterns are shown in another lesson that's, I think it's just above or below this one on the website. It's called Basic strumming patterns or beginner strumming patterns or something along those lines. So I'll just show you a quick close-up of the PDF just to show you what I mean, and then we'll move on with the lesson. Okay, this is a PDF that I'm using for this particular lesson. Like I say, you can print it off if you want to. There's various exercises. Now, the chords, the letter names of the chords are written above, this is called a stave here, and they're written above the bar. There's a G chord there. EM is short for E minor. G is a G major chord, but you don't generally write anything after it. If you just see a chord with a letter name, it's always a major chord. If it's a minor, it's got a little M after it, and there are other chords and they've got different symbols, but we'll go into those later. And these things here are called crotchets. This 4/4 means 4 beats in a bar. So if you were clapping along, you would clap 4 times each bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are called they're called crotchets, and they show a way of showing a strum pattern. Basically, you strum down, 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 down. This is a bar line here. You change chord there, down, 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 down. And there is a lesson on basic strumming patterns up on the site as well. So then we're going to move on to C chord. That's a major again, an A minor chord, etc. And we'll move on to a slightly more like, this is not something you want to do all in one go, but we'll move on to a slightly more elaborate strumming pattern afterwards, which has got these two joined together. It's called 2 quavers they are, and what you would go is go down, 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 up, down, or 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so hopefully that's explained everything, and in a sec I'll take you through them. Okay, so this is a close-up of exercise 1 on the PDF. We're using a G major chord, first finger, 2nd fret of the A string, 2nd finger, 3rd fret of the E string, and 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the high E string. And that's your G major chord. Now when you change to your E minor chord, or any chord changes you're learning, it's always useful, it's not always the case, but it's always useful to look for some fingers that might stay where they are. Well, the E minor chord is played with the 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. So the 1st finger stays in place for the 2 chords. One of the reasons that I've chosen these 2 chords for this exercise. So try and get the movement first of G to E minor. So you've got this. It's always a nice thing to get used to as well. Happy sounding major chord, sad sounding minor chord. So what you do is you do that a few times until you feel very comfortable with the change, till you can know the change without looking at a picture. So you've got G, E minor, and then when you feel comfortable with that, try putting some strumming to it like it is in exercise 1. 4 down strums per bar, very slowly. I'll count in. It goes 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that exercise has got like a double line with a double dot at the end. That means repeat. You can just repeat that as many times as you want to, just to get yourself used to the changes. Now, there are there is a lesson up in basic strumming patterns with a slightly easier strumming pattern. This, if you're having trouble changing with from G to E minor, it's got a rest. It's 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3. So if you're having trouble with that, try that one out first. The second exercise is moving between the C chord and the A minor chord. The C chord is played with the third finger on the third fret of the A string, second finger on the second fret of the D string, and the first finger on the first fret of the B string. That's your C chord. Now this one's even slightly easier perhaps in some respects. It's a bit of a stretch to play C chord if you're a total beginner, unless you've got really big hands. But then when you move to A minor, the only finger that moves is finger 3. Fingers 1 and 2 stay where they are. So try and get in that habit of leaving them where they are. It makes the chord change an awful lot easier. So again, here's the exercise. I'll count you in. Just first of all, get used to the chord change, the one finger movement, and then play through it gradually. 4 beats in a bar. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just finishing off on the C chord there. Exercise 3 moves on to mix all of the chords learnt so far up in the same strumming pattern. So we've got G. Remember, going to E minor, we leave finger 1 where it is. Now when we go from E minor to C, which is the next chord in this sequence, we leave finger 2 where it is. So you've got G, E minor, leave finger 2 on, C, A minor, leave 1 and 2 on. And again we're strumming through with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the idea is you repeat that sequence until you can change without any gaps. The important thing is to play slowly and not have any gaps in your changes, rather than really fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, big gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't sound very musical. Nice slow strumming gives you a whole lot longer to change between the chords. And exercise 4 is just where we put what's called an upstroke in the chord sequence. So what I'll do is I'll show you that at a distance. Okay, so the last exercise is a mix-up of all the chords that you've just done, but with some upstrokes as well. So the idea with strumming is your hand eventually will keep moving up and down at the same speed, whatever the speed of the song or tune you're playing is. So once you've got used to just the down strums, what we can do is we can make a gap in the space between the 1, 2, 3, 4. We can put what's called an and on the up strums. Don't catch as many strings. It doesn't matter how many catch, 1, 2, 3. It's just to give it a sense of momentum and interest, etc. So what I'll do is I'll count you in. So what we want, the first thing we want is a strumming pattern that goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So get your strumming pattern first. Practice that till you can practice it without any mistakes, and then move on to the changing the chords in between. So we're going to go G, E minor, C, A minor, very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 1, 2, 3, and 4. E minor, 1, 2, 3, and 4. C, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A minor, 1, 2, 3, and 4. G. So the idea is, hopefully if you're watching that, my hand, although I wasn't hitting the strings all the time, if you can see the hand, it's, right, okay, I'll move over a bit, just in case it doesn't get into the vid. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's moving up and down constantly at the same speed. So hopefully you found that useful, and if you do like the strumming and change between chords, which is an essential technique obviously if you're going to be a guitarist, there's another lesson up on basic strumming patterns. So what you could do is practice the chords with those some slightly more elaborate strumming patterns, and then there's some more up on the intermediate strumming patterns as you move on. So hopefully you found that useful, and I'll see you again sometime.